After mating, the queen ant immediately begins a perilous journey where countless predators lie in wait to kill her. But the soldier ants react in a flash, curling their abdomens to spray a powerful stream of formic acid. The searing liquid forces any attacker to recoil. A fierce battle breaks out. A venomous scorpion quietly approaches from a distance, looking to take advantage of the chaos. But the moment it shows itself, it's instantly taken down by the ant army. During the confusion, a cunning jumping spider seizes the opportunity to blend in, disguised as an ant, and silently steals precious larvae from right under the colony's feet. While the nest is still in disarray and hasn't reinforced its defensive lines, a swarm of wasps launches a large-scale attack from behind. Can this tiny kingdom withstand the coming storms? Having escaped the deadly siege, the queen begins the reproduction phase. She crawls into a space between two leaves and begins to digest her own body, from her wings and flight muscles to even a part of her brain, to produce her first clutch of eggs. These tiny eggs are the seeds of her empire. Just a few days later, the first generation of worker ants is born. But the queen's sacrifice isn't over. She continues to consume the rest of her body to keep laying eggs. As the number of ants grows exponentially, the temporary nest is no longer big enough. The queen immediately sends a signal to expand to a new nest. The worker ants use their own bodies to form a living bridge, pulling two leaves closer together. It's a grueling test of physical strength. Each ant bites down on the edge of a leaf, holding on without letting go. For a human, this would be like lifting a 7-ton truck with one hand. However, their endurance has its limits. They need an adhesive to secure the two leaf edges. Just then, a worker ant carries over a larva, an essential element for the final step. It brings the larva to the exact spot that needs reinforcing. At a certain stage of development, the larva secretes a special protein-rich silk. A worker ant stimulates the larva's head with its antennae, causing it to spray a liquid that turns into a strong thread upon contact with the air. They weave back and forth relentlessly, layer by layer, thread by thread, until every gap is sealed. A natural structure is woven through perfect coordination. The new nest is not only strong, but also lets in plenty of light. The queen moves her eggs into the warm new chamber, completely unaware that from a distance, the jumping spider is silently watching. Infiltrating an ant nest is suicide, but with a disguise, everything changes. The jumping spider not only mimics the ants' walk, but also perfectly replicates their scent. Because ants have very poor eyesight and rely almost entirely on their sense of smell for recognition, the soldier ants don't suspect a thing. Right in front of them, the jumping spider quietly steals larvae and slips away unnoticed. Even so, the loss is insignificant when the queen can lay thousands of eggs every day. Even during the rainy season, the ant nest remains secure. Outside, storms rage, but inside, the nest stays dry and perfectly safe. When the old leaves begin to wither, the colony must prepare to move again. All of their movements are being monitored by a venomous scorpion with its powerful pincers and a tail containing a deadly sting. It is a fearsome ambusher. While the worker ants are evacuating the queen, the scorpion silently approaches from behind. But before it can strike, a soldier ant spots it. The fight is over in an instant. Though it dies from a single venomous sting, the soldier ant manages to send out a distress signal before it falls. The scorpion has no idea that the moment it struck, its own fate was sealed. In a flash, hundreds of green ants swarm in from all directions. They close in, pinning down each of the scorpion's limbs. Its venom is now useless as its prey can no longer move. The ants tear it apart, carrying the pieces back to the nest to add to their food supply. War and sacrifice are unavoidable in the world of ants. But by laying thousands of eggs a day, the queen always replenishes their numbers. Not every invader dies, but any who underestimate ants will face the consequences. A different kind of intruder, a caterpillar in disguise, receives special treatment. It eats fruit to absorb sugars and amino acids, then excretes an irresistible honeydew, a favorite food of the ants. However, this mobile kitchen isn't always available when needed, so the ants came up with a more efficient solution. Farming aphids, tiny insects that feed on plant sap and are easy to control. Using their sophisticated weaving techniques, the ants herd the aphids together, raising them like livestock to ensure a steady supply of honeydew year-round. The aphid herd is strictly guarded. If one tries to escape, an ant will gently pick it up and carry it back. But when the aphids reproduce too much, conflict arises. Nearby weaver ant colonies, frustrated by the honeydew shortage, unite to invade. The green ants are unafraid and simply send out the signal for war. As the enemy swarms in, the green ant army has already taken the high ground atop those trees, ready to fight. The battle erupts. For ants, food is a strategic asset. To lose the battle is to lose everything. The enemy's numbers swell, and the ants suffer heavy losses. From above, the green soldier ants launch a counterattack with formic acid, which not only burns but also destroys the enemy's sense of smell, leaving them disoriented. With the advantage of the terrain, the green ants gradually gain the upper hand. The enemy is forced to flee, jumping from the tall trees to escape. The green ant legion regains control. The queen continues to lay eggs, expanding her territory. In just a few months, the kingdom has grown from a few tens of thousands to millions of individuals. As a result, the demand for food also increases exponentially. However, a new rival appears, the wasp, a formidable enemy with a nest-guarding instinct as strong as the ants. Ironically, the larvae in the wasp nest are a favorite food of the ants. Although the two nests were far apart, a strong gust of wind blows the ant nest adrift, landing it near the wasp nest. The wasps immediately signal for battle. The ants are fearless. Wasps are not used to fighting in swarms and are quickly overwhelmed. In one-on-one combat, however, the wasps still dominate. The ants resort to their usual tactic: pin them down, spray acid, and attack as a group. The wasp nest launches an all-out counterattack. The ant nest is torn apart, suffering heavy damage. The queen immediately sends a distress signal, ordering the workers to evacuate the eggs first. But with a constant stream of reinforcements, the wasps overwhelm the ants. Retreat is the only option. The ant nest is flattened. The queen, with her large body, cannot move on her own. Soldier ants must risk their lives to carry her away. In war, there are no absolute winners. Both sides suffer losses. But under the same forest canopy, battles like these will surely happen again. Only when one side is completely wiped out can the remaining kingdom grow in peace. But that will never happen.